start the show with some global headlines tracking this morning. US President Donald Trump posted on Truth Social that US-China trade deal is done, pending final approval from him and President Xi Jinping. He said that newest trade deal with China would provide the US the full necessary supplies of rare earth materials and also permit visas for Chinese students. He said the US gets 55% tariff and China gets 10% tariff. Adding to details of the deal, Trump said that he is working closely with Chinese president to open up China to American trade. He calls it a great win for both countries. Representatives from both sides earlier revealed that deal has been reached on trade after a second day of high-level talks in London. Remember, tensions escalated after China imposed export restrictions on several rare earth elements and magnets used by automotive and defense sectors. Let's listen into some expert views on the same.
You know, the broad contours of this deal will be done sooner than later, because I think increasingly in the Beltway there were lineups of manufacturers telling Washington, the Oval Office, the kind of difficulties that they were facing, especially because of the magnets and semiconductors. And, you know, these magnets are obviously very crucial to anything from fighter jets to missile technology to computers and so on and so forth. So I think the pinch was being felt by both sides. And you know, China did not want to blink first, and therefore it took marathon meetings from either side to really come to this breakthrough. And I think the follow-up will be very, very soon rather than later.
It will not give an inch. I think it will demand its pound of flesh and more as far as India is concerned. And so I think we really have to be, and I know that India are, government ministries, they have been, looking around, they have been scurrying to see where they can get these requirements from, even as far as Central Asia is concerned. South America is concerned, Argentina. So, we've been looking at all these places, sources of supply. Of course, the amounts that are present are not very significant. But still, what India's requirements are, definitely they are not also of the same magnitude as of some of the other, countries in the West. So India has been trying that. But we cannot expect any slack from China. They will demand absolutely the moon as far as they are concerned.
All right, those are the expert views coming in on US-China trade deal. The final approval is still awaited on that, though. But in terms of tariffs in other countries, the US president has said he would send letters to trading partners in the next week or two, setting unilateral tariff rates. Now, this comes at a time when the 90-day tariff pause comes to an end around July 9th. Now, earlier, U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent had told the Congress that it is highly likely that the tariff pause would be extended for countries that are negotiating with the administration in good faith.
All right, high inflation brought about by Trump's tariffs are yet to fully materialize. As per US retail inflation data for May, CPI has increased by 0.1% from April, which is lower than 0.2% that the experts and economists were penciling in. Meanwhile, compared to last year, consumer prices in May rose by 2.4%, which is in line with the estimates. Also, for fourth month in a row, core inflation, which excludes food and energy prices, has come in lower than the estimates at 0.1% versus expectation of 0.3% rise. US President Donald Trump on Truth Social repeated his call that Fed should slash rates after the release of CPI numbers. He wrote, CPI just out, great numbers. Fed should lower 1 full point, would pay much less interest on debt coming due.
That's right. Let's also take a look at the U.S. budget deficit data. Now, the U.S. government has posted $316 billion budget deficit for May, which is down 9% on a year-on-year basis as custom receipts nearly quadrupled to a record $23 billion due to U.S. President Donald Trump's steep new import tariffs. Meanwhile, the gross custom receipts jumped last month from $6 billion in May in 2024. Now, as Trump's tariff tariffs on goods from nearly all trading partners began showing up in significant volumes in port of entry collections. Now remember, the surging financing costs were again a major contributor to the fiscal issues, with interest on the $36.2 trillion debt topping $92 billion.
And after a week of rather dramatic meltdown between the two of the world's most powerful men, all seems to be finally well between Elon Musk and US President Donald Trump. In the latest news, Trump says it's very nice that Musk expressed regret. This comes after in a tweet which was posted on X, the tech billionaire has expressed regret over his series of social media posts last week. The latest development comes in after Trump took a U-turn in his decision to sell Tesla he purchased from Elon Musk. Remember, tensions erupted over Trump's One Big Beautiful bill that proposes extensive tax cuts which could add roughly $3 trillion in the debt of US.
That's right. Looks like a change of heart coming there. But now in a stern warning coming in from JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon, as he says that encouraging economic data could soon turn worrisome as US President Donald Trump's tariffs continue to escalate trade tensions. Now he adds that Trump's tariffs are yet to affect data like monthly inflation and job reports, but the economy is prone to a downturn if that changes.
Focus to some global earnings. Software maker Oracle reported its Q4 earnings, which surpassed its earlier guidance. It has raised its fiscal 2026 revenue target to over $67 billion. The company forecasted 16% growth. It also expects over 70% growth in its cloud infra segment. Meanwhile, the share saw an uptick of 8% in extended trading.
That's right. Moving on to some more updates now. After a 5-day intense protest in downtown LA against immigration and customs enforcement, the police department has made nearly 400 arrests, including 330 undocumented migrants and 157 for assault and obstruction, including one for the attempted murder of a police officer. Most of these detentions were made for refusing to leave protest areas despite police orders. 4,000 National Guard troops and 700 Marines have been deployed to help quell the unrest. Some of those National Guard troops are now authorized to detain people until the police can arrest them.
With this, it's time to take a very quick break, but don't go away.